Here's my 420cc mini bike. It's a torquey boy. Lots of torque. Just Harbor Freight Predator 420. Custom Fram air filter. The crankcase breathers. Or crankcase breather, then chrome gas breather, chrome. Brake lever, and then this has aftermarket waffle grips. These are a lot better than the stock ones, waffle grips. And then I mounted the gas tank up here. I had a custom paint job on it. I still kind of have it, but gas spilt ate the paint. You can see it's gold stripe with silver. It's all welded on there really good. Fuel line, fuel filter. I'm gonna run it up here over to the carb. This is stock carb. This engine's completely stock except for what you see on the outside, and everything's stock except for the intake, exhaust, and then spark plug is a Polestar plasma core. Really nice spark plug. I'm gonna put a cam in this thing, billet rod, billet flywheel, get rid of that governor, some heavier springs, and then I have a 34mm carb that I'm gonna put on here, so this thing will rev up really good, and it has a velocity stack too, so it should help with some low end torque too. Then of course you have your optional electric start that will be going off, which is kind of a bummer because I really would like an electric start, but with the new flywheel it's just too expensive. And even now, just the stock, everything's stock here, it's really hard to pull over. There's so much compression. But, this bike actually has been stretched 4 inches. 4-inch stretch. You can see here where the stretch is, right there. You can see the welds here, and then he ground it down. But actually, you'd think that this would actually be really weak, but actually have pieces of rebar inside of all of these stretches that come out to about here and here, and so those have all been welded on the inside, and then it's just outer piece then welded and ground down on it. Wheelie pegs, this is reinforced here. Again, on the front, this has rebar on the inside, reinforced with steel angle iron. Then here's on this side, you can see better. Let me get my light. On the side, we have a custom exhaust header. See, it's custom. This here is just holding up the torque converter plate or cover. But this is a header wrap all on it. It's not such a nice welding job there, but it is custom welded onto a flange, and then all wrapped up to here, and I welded an adapter for this motorcycle exhaust on here, and then this attaches to there, and this false header wrap covers all the crappy welds I made. Just because it was in a circle, it's hard to do, but it's just cheap Amazon what you call it, muffler. And you can see it's kind of discolored already. You can see it a lot with the light, but without it, it's harder to notice. Even with this, it is pretty loud. You can see down there where it goes into the straight pipe, which goes in there, because this was originally a straight pipe. Put a muffler on it. I had to weld this back piece on the fender. You can see it's a nice MIG MIG weld on there, and then all the welds everything's painted. That way it doesn't rust. But this here's a Pro Taper 420 MX, gold MX chain. Made in Japan, very nice. And the chain really doesn't have, it's really good. Doesn't really have that much play in it, except for down there it's a little bit, but I mean, you can adjust it. And Go Power Sports 40 series torque converter. And then we also have Go Power Sports sticker up there on the gas tank. But Go Power Sports 40 series, so very, very torquey. In fact, if you do full throttle, this thing will flip itself over. I learned about that today. Full throttle, out of the gate, will flip itself over. You can see it bent my rear fender, kind of. And I had to hit it back. It isn't completely straight, but you see it sort of tore it up there, and then it snapped this, and it snapped this bar on the inside, so I had to weld that up. And here's the this used to be the rear tire. You can see this thing's just super bald, like there's barely any tread left on this. Here, this actually used to be the front tire. Again, probably should change it out. But there's barely any tread on that too. So I'm gonna wait for these tires to pop and then I'll change them out. The stock drum brake. Then this is where we get into the fun if you've stuck around for this long. This is the custom engine plate. So you can see this is custom milled it out itself. And that actually didn't work, obviously. That's why you see this tubing here. But it's actually, I used a bunch of washers to like shim it up, because as you can see, the torque converter would, if it was down lower, it'd be hitting the plate, and it would also be hitting this pipe too. So can't have that. Can't really cut anything. So used some washers to shim it up, and then the washers were allowing the engine to like move back and forth and side to side and all that stuff. So I had to scrap that idea. But I just welded it to this 1/4-inch hot rolled steel plate. And I took these screws that I used to go through here and up to the engine, and the washers too. And I cut them. I cut 2 of them and turned them into studs. And so then I got this 2x2-inch stop sign square tubing. I have like 36 feet of it over there. Got it for free, side of the road. It's all galvanized, so had to take that crap off of it. And somehow, I guess there's still some on the inside, and there's that crap was flying around. So that was nice. I had to wear a mask while welding and grinding and everything, which was a while, so that wasn't very fun. But this stuff is super, super strong. But I marked out with a Sharpie and cut it up with an angle grinder, and it's actually, I got it surprisingly straight for an angle grinder. Like, if you look at the cuts on there, those things are super straight. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, those are just spot on for an angle grinder. As I said, I marked it out before, and then I cut it. And then so I think it's like a 4-inch piece here on the side, and then 6-inch piece here in the front. So 6-inch, 6-inch, and then 2 4-inch pieces. As you can see, this is what I used. I just welded this on here, and you can kind of see a gap where the welds are. If you look at it like this, there's kind of a gap. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit when you can see the weld sort of like sticking out here a little bit from it. But just weld those on, and then shimmed it up. That way the bolt would properly fit down and push on it. And trimmed up these studs and torqued them down really good. They should never come off, but if they do, I'll put some Loctite on them, stick them back on there, and torque them down. But I mean, then I welded the stop sign post to the plate here. You can see the weld right there. I cleaned up these MIG welds really good. After I finished, and then I painted them so that way nothing rusts. But it's a MIG Harbor Freight MIG 240 170 amp 240 volt 170 amp machine. So a very nice machine. And then here's probably the best weld. It's right here. MIG like TIG. I mean, talk about MIG like TIG. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. MIG like TIG. Honestly. Over here it's not so nice, but you can see it kind of messed up right here. That's because when I was measuring, I put the engine on here and then I measured it out and lined it up, and I put a fat tack right there. I put a fat tack on both sides, so you can see here's where it was all just, nothing was there, and then here's where the tack was. But then you can see here's a smaller little weld because this is thinner, obviously there. And I mean, the only issue or only concern I have with this design is these studs. If the engine just goes so much torque that it rips the weld that the stud is on, or just rips the stud in half. I mean, but that shouldn't happen because these are pretty strong bolts that I turned into studs, and then I welded them on real good. So it should be fine, or it should be fine. No issues. And then I did cut all this square tubing up and weld it and then grind it down so it's all one piece. And then what I was originally thinking is drill holes through them, so you can kind of see here as I welded up these holes and then I ground them down. You can kind of see on this side it doesn't look very good. And then up there you can see it too, but obviously I scrapped the idea and just welded a stud onto it. Then this here is steel too. I think I don't remember how thick this is, but this is like, this used to be a strip. I actually have it over here. I can show you. There's this strip here that I used, and then I use this stuff for the stretches, and then that rebar for inside, but I clean it all off and stuff before I put it in there. But this is steel I used, and I have a little like 6-inch metal cutting saw, so I cut these up and I just set it to 45 degrees and cut these up. Really, this is like the visually the best pleasing weld. This one right here, the MIG like TIG, honestly, right here. But the rest of them aren't so pretty, but they are structurally okay, and that kind of looks worse on camera and with the paint on them than it is in real life, because actually I couldn't clean these off because they're in there, so that's all spatter and flux and other crap in there that I couldn't really clean off of the actual weld. And then also my settings were kind of off for those, but I was getting burned through and stuff, so they do look kind of funny, but they are structurally sound, thank goodness. But that I just cut these little gussets to reinforce here, and I don't know, you might be able to see over there those ugly welds. But yeah, this is, I mean, I'd rather get burned through and have to fill in the hole and know that these things are completely connected than, get a nice little dinky weld that looks good but isn't gonna actually hold up. And then I'll show you the weld on this side too. It's really good. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, this is like a flat weld kind of here, and because I didn't turn down the settings on the machine, so I kind of did like a bead, just a flat bead, and then right next to there, so it kind of looks a little bit strange, but it looks bad on camera actually. In real life, it actually looks like a nice little bead. And then yeah, here's the other little little MIG welds on there. Yeah, I mean, I cranked the settings on my machine all the way up. That way I knew it's all good. And you can see there's a weld on this side for those gussets, because like I said, I was getting burned through when I was welding them from this side, so I know I don't have to do them again from the other side. Yeah, I did show you this weld. But I mean, honestly, this weld right there, that is MIG like TIG. This is probably the best weld I've ever done. The thing looks beautiful. Just wish I could do them like that every time. But yeah, this is my stock engine 420cc mini bike. Used to be a Coleman CT200U. Now it's a Coleman CT 420U. Yeah. Thanks for watching.